the Institute for Justice and the Southern Poverty Law Center called us on the phone. I said, listen, I can't talk to you over the phone and describe what's going on. You got to get in your car. You got to get on that plane, hit the Atlanta airport, and come to my house. And that's what they did. Okay? And to see it and believe it. We gave them the tour. I'm going to show you this here on the back. We gave them the tour. We explained the situation. But by the time they had come to us, we had been doing prayer rallies. I had been writing in the newspaper. Okay? We had been pushing back. We had formed a coalition, not a non-for-profit, because I said, well, I don't want to be a non-for-profit, but I had to go and get people to a notary. I had made a statement. My husband and I would speak in reference to media, attorneys, anything like that, and represent these people. Okay, and that's how we all became a coalition. Okay, and then we had to we had to establish, because once we formed this coalition, we had so many attorneys, we had to kind of break it down who was going to represent whom, right? And those were decisions that my husband and I had to make, and it worked. It worked. Because we had a whole community, 50, 60 family members who never got a letter, and their property is going to be leased. And then those were the property owners who Tarbutton was going to take their land through eminent domain. You see how complex it was? And then we had Damon Mullis, President CEO of the Ogeechee River Keepers, whose organization is invested in the Ogeechee River. That runs through this quarry, right? Okay, but I want to show you all this. I went and got a map. This is 2 binders, some of the best in the country, doing the research, during the survey, doing all of that, because you know what? They know we can't read them 500 pages. They know nobody's going to sit and read. They knew that. It's a lot. But they didn't know Janet Smith wasn't going to read it. And read it. And drop it in GP chat. AI. And read it again. And again. And then Miss Sally too. I'm going to read it because I got a lot to lose here. Right? I got a lot to lose here. We got a lot to lose. The community has a lose. You know, I was reading this environmental injustice book one time, and it said, did you know the particles from this white dust, you feel the wind blowing? Can the wind tell you which way to blow? Now we get strong winds, okay? We get tornadoes, we get all kind of stuff. Do you think it says, oh, I'm gonna stop because that's a white community and I'm gonna turn back around and we all get it. When those trucks hit these roads, some of them aren't covered decently, even the other ones. There's white cancerous dust floating all over here. I'm surprised we hadn't had one come through here. I guess they're using the bypass over there. But I wanted to say this. I studied this, and I looked at this. I dropped it in GP chat. And if they approve that special use permit, they have violated their own ordinances. When they send all their experts out with their PhDs and DDDs, one of the people who came out who did the study on us, they did a study. You know what they called us? Vulnerable, which is the same as at risk, which is the same as disadvantaged. That's what they called us as a population of people. You understand what I'm saying? They said that. Okay? All right? So when they're doing this study, they're not collaborating with each other. They did a sound study, they did an air study, They did. They said they came to the community and knocked on doors, which they didn't do that. They did all these. They did a desktop study. They had a couple of site visits and things like that. But what they failed to do is look at the cumulative effect. When you studied the sound, you just studied the sound from the quarry. You didn't study the sound from the proposed train or Pittman asphalt or the truck traffic. You didn't study that. You just studied from the quarry. Do you know what they had the nerve to say in one of the studies, one of the summations of the study? They said, well, since the residents have been down there all this time with the pre-existing quarry, because there's a 160-acre quarry down there right now we live with. That disrespects us, right? Don't care nothing about us. They said since they've been down there, they said there's going to be no profit. Can you believe they said that? They said we were used to it.
Oh my gosh.
We were used to it. So we had to change what? Ordinances. We had to change politicians. And now we have to go and tell our commissioners why they shouldn't approve the expansion. After we finish the expansion, we're going to file a Title VI to the 1964 Civil Rights Act that said they're discriminating against us by dumping all of this. You see this? Dumping all of this. The 160 acres is enough. We've been living down there with enough. We've had 5 people die since we've been putting signs up in here from cancer, heart disease, and everything else. Okay? So what I'm saying is a lot of work, keep you a lot of good people around you. People come in, people go out. We've had people die. We had people been born. We had people come like you all did, some new faces. You know, we just keep on going until this is some of the most beautiful land. We have streams. There's a beautiful stream. Look at this water that runs through here. We have a creek. I can take you to my house right now and we can hike down here. We have fishing. We don't have the economic development. They keep saying that they're going to bring money into the county. Folks, I moved here in 1992. We have done nothing but get worse. Get worse. Do you know they get tax breaks, tax incentives, and they get tax breaks, incentives to come here to help the economy, but they just drain the economy. Isn't that something? All they do is drain the economy. They pay, I looked at their tax record, they pay nothing on the rock that comes out of our ground, nothing. This rock, once it's transported, the people that get the rock, where it ends up at, that's where the sales tax comes in. Whatever county.
Yeah.
The only thing they pay down there is what they call the Avalon tax on the equipment. That's why we're still in the shape that we're in today. So, even with a train gets all kind of, look at this. We have hope. They have, look. They have blasting material, explosives. They have chemicals over in Pittman asphalt plant. We have no enforcement. We have no enforcement. Greene County has an enforcement. In fact, I look at Heidelberg Quarry. This is the violation tracker. This is a U.S. violation tracker. This Heidelberg Quarry, it has, I want to say these numbers. It's 3,700. What is that? What's that number right there? These are penalties.
58 million.
They have $58 million in penalties. We don't have anybody down here to give penalties, right? The